ミーティングの前にちょっといいか。お前じゃなきゃ立て直せないぜ。
選手に任せたい。選手がフィールドで気づき話し合い、自分で解決することが理想。
Yeah, but ideas
コーチ
need
ン
to
グ
be
の違い
broken.
ってやつだな。それが理想だ。選手たちは未熟だ、のぞみ。そして俺たちも未熟だ。監督は神様にはなれない。このチームはみんなお前を頼りにして監督が慕われてるいいチームだ。
Man, this was a productive ass meeting. I'm loving this shit. He wanted to just put Nozomi in check as far as give him some perspective of how hands-on, hands-off he should be with the team. And clearly, Nozomi is a hands-off guy. He wants them to figure things out. He wants them to put the pieces together of the puzzle. But it's a 1,000-piece puzzle, baby. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I don't know where the middle piece is. I don't know where the duck. I'm not seeing it right now. So they're a little bit lost without his direction. And he needs to be more freeze the emperor hands-on. But he's like, King Cold, son, you got this. And that's why the kingdom fell apart. Yeah, to retrieve his son, what was left, the pieces. And I don't want to see that happen to our little youth soccer team here. They do look up to him, they respect him. And he's saying, I want to leave it up to the players. They need to see the problems and solve it for themselves on the field. And then Fukuda is great at this. He throws in just a little bit. He's sprinkling that magic in there. He does it with his coaches as well as his players. He has like a good balance, very good balance of, give and take and not helicoptering, but not being a hard ass as well. He told the line very well, like I just said, did. But he says the difference between teaching and coaching. What's really the difference? They want them at experience to think for themselves and make plays on the field that is an extension of what they have learned. So teaching is just basically, me telling you 1 + 1 is 2 and teaching you the mathematics. Coaching is trying to guide you to the answer yourself, but there's a flaw in that. There's a flaw on both sides. That's why it has to be balanced. If I strictly teach you, you're gonna be a robot and you're gonna be rigid and you're not gonna be able to react and adapt to situations that you're missing that piece of information to fill in the gaps, or just to adjust to a situation that's unprecedented, you haven't practiced, you haven't encountered before. So you're not gonna be able to operate outside of this box. And if I coach you only without giving you a foundation, solid teaching, you're gonna be lost. You're not gonna know what the fuck is going on. Remember Ashito, when he first came in, he was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm purely going on instinct, which is just a no-go, especially in a pro environment or environment tailored towards going that direction. You're gonna be amateur. You're gonna be making countless mistakes, which like one mistake is okay. You're gonna learn from that. Mistakes in succession shows that you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and you're of no use if you don't know the system, which any place you're in, they're gonna have one of those. You're gonna have to operate inside it, but they're gonna want you to be able to think for yourself as well, to be able to add to the system, and ideally be enlightened, be free, be able to switch back and forth between the teaching, operating in those fundamentals, and then as well as being able to be a free spirit, add on to that, add shock, add shock value, a level of unpredictability. So when you're wild and you're free and you're operating, you know offense or defense, you're just free to react. And that's the best kind of athlete that just reacts instinctively. It's become a part of you. But you're also rooted and based in something. So you can't have one without the other. If you try to do only one, you're gonna have the robot, or you're gonna have a wild free spirit who just is a flower child and it's the 60s and they're smoking weed and they're not doing anything and they're gonna be unproductive. So I get it, and he doesn't want to make a mistake. But he said, he want to be like you, Fukuda. I can't be strong like you. He's like, I make mistakes too, but the players you're working with, they're putty. They haven't been fully formed yet into stone. They can be molded and shaped. They're imperfect, but so are we. And he's like, because he sees Fukuda, the head manager, he's put them on this pedestal, which elevated him above himself, which makes us, not see his flaws, to see his good points and all that. But he's human as well. He's like, I make mistakes. The manager can't be a god, is what he said. You have to be relatable enough to your players to not be unrelatable to them, but you have to give them some structure and discipline as well. You can't, be their friend. So there's that, balance, that line to toe, which is something like NFL coach, retired coach, now he's a general manager, Tom Coughlin had to learn in Jacksonville and with the Giants. He couldn't be a hard ass strictly because these are young men. They need to be treated as equals. They need to see that you respect them as men, even though they might be young men. They're gonna make mistakes. They're not gonna be perfect. That's your job to come in to manage them, to shape them, to coach them up. This is just a great highlight, key point in the anime and the episode that I feel like it's not gonna get enough shine, but it's just pivotal because they are coaches, but yeah, at the same time they're human, and they need to be coached up. They need to be, have their flaws and pointed out, balanced, be managed as well, so that they can do the best job and have the best tools to equip their students, to equip their players to go out and do the best that they can. Free them up, basically. Free them up to like a well-oiled machine. But he said, you're the only one that can rally this team. They look up to you. Like we're gonna see later, the way he talks to one player, only he could have done that. Only he can reach that player like that. The way the players, most of the players, raised up in the farm system, look up to him. That's because of, not just because of his stature, but that's because of who Nozomi is. And the teacher that he is. He's an excellent teacher. And how Aoi looks to him. You can see that Aoi has his trust. That means everything. And he said, you gotta be a good manager is looked up to by the team. And you can see that the other squad, Musashino, they damn well sure look up to their coach. And because he's so relatable. He's human, just like he said, I was a former J3 leaguer that didn't cut it. So I know more than anything what it's like to be one of them. And Nozomi, free up your mind. If you do that, man, you can elevate this team to such heights that they'll all be looking down with Ashito's eagle eye.
Like, comment, share, subscribe if you want.
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Centron Anime, Centron Life, or Centron Laughs, or other social media.